Hey everyone, this is Simply Syrup coming to you with a review video today on a brand new game for the channel, Salt 2 Shores of Gold. I sunk over 20 hours into this game over 2 separate playthroughs to bring you this honest and informative review to help you better understand Shores of Gold in its current form. In this video, we will be going over a few separate things, like what the gameplay actually is, and spoiler here, this game has nothing to do with Sea of Thieves and the two games really aren't even comparable. I just wanted to clear that up right off the bat. After an explanation of the game, we will be going over exactly what the game is getting right and wrong before finishing up with the final review of Salt 2 Shores of Gold. Before we get into the video, I just wanted to take a quick moment to say thank you for giving my channel a try and encourage you to consider liking this video and subscribing if you enjoy or gain some useful insight on your purchase decision. But before I take up any more of your time, let's get into the video. Let's start out today by going over what Salt 2 is and isn't to give you a better understanding of what you are getting into. Shores of Gold is an infinite procedural, open-world survival game with roguelike elements. There are dungeons, enemies, skills to level, loot to find, hidden secrets, crafting, hunting, and more. This game is tailored to fans of the RPG and survival crafting genres. What this game is not is an offline Sea of Thieves. Sea of Thieves is built around skillfully sailing on a predetermined map, gathering loot to sell for profit in ship-to-ship conflict, almost none of which is found in Salt 2. The only similarities that exist are that both games involve ships, we fight skeletons, and the ocean water looks really nice. That is exactly where the similarities stop for Sea of Thieves and Shores of Gold. It would be more appropriate to compare Shores of Gold to Raft, another survival crafting sim based on floating along the open sea. The gameplay and graphics are actually strikingly similar. Raft is of course a much more polished game and revolves less around combat and more around crafting, but the two games offer very similar styles of gameplay, exploring an open procedural world. While all this sounds great, what the game boils down to is hopping from island to island, fighting a few enemies in hopes of finding slightly better gear or loot, and leveling up skills to unlock more content, which I think is pretty true to the life of a pirate and a great idea for a game. Let's take a moment to talk about what Salt 2 is getting right so early on in development. I really think the ideas are there. Like we have most everything that you should be expecting in a game of this type and more. There are infinite islands, a decent amount of crafting, some loot to be found, side missions for a little extra coin, and a little bit more. However, besides the framework of the game, there is not too much going on here that I would consider a pro. And I don't want to give you the impression that this game is just terrible. I really had some fun playing it. It's just that most functions in the game are still incomplete and need more work. It was infinitely easier to write about the cons of this game than the pros, because nothing really comes to mind as a plus. I really enjoy small things like how close the islands are together, but that's just because sailing is so basic it's not enjoyable. Or how weapons have certain traits that can make them special, but after I pick up 1,000 of the same weapon, it's not as fun anymore. I really wanted this section to be about what the game is getting right and why you should be buying the game, but the truth is there is a lot more wrong than there is right. So with that, let's take a moment to talk about what Salt 2 is getting wrong so early on in development, starting with one of the main focuses of the game, combat. In Shores of Gold, you will find yourself fighting a decent variety of different enemies, from pirates to skeletons to cultists. However, the combat among all the different groups is exactly the same and not very intuitive. You are either going to be backstepping a melee character or chasing down an enemy archer. The combat, while not unenjoyable, is fairly bland and can be pretty easily mastered. I would really like to see some improvements to the combat system as the game moves forward because its current state is very underwhelming. Another issue I'm having with the game is the slow leveling. Since content is blocked behind level caps, it's a little bit frustrating seeing levels move so slowly. What ends up happening is you spend hours seeing the same loot over and over again and fighting the same bosses, trying to increase your world level until new gear and enemies start to spawn. It's in my opinion that this could be easily fixed by adding more gear or increasing the speed at which we level up. Either way, the system in place is currently unrewarding to the player and feels stale. And finally, very unfortunate, there is a lack of procedures the game can currently generate. Very quickly you will find yourself running into the same dungeons, outposts, and enemy gatherings. This is to be expected in an infinite world because no game can have an infinite amount of content. However, paired with the slow leveling, most islands come up as being the exact same, and you should expect to explore the same dungeons multiple times before even thinking about discovering something new. For our final section of this video, I wanted to give to you my final judgment on Salt 2 in its current form. Taking into consideration all of the good and the bad, I don't want to be too harsh because the game was just released in early access, but that doesn't mean it should get a free pass with a $20 price tag. The overall direction of the game is solid. It really feels like most systems in the game were implemented with great deal of thought and care. While some may be missing the mark, the groundwork is there to really make a great game. Even some slight adjustments could bolster this game into a major deal for the amount of money spent. And that's just it. The game is totally in the hands of the developers moving forward. In its current form, the game feels mostly incomplete. But with a few good updates, Salt 2 could become a very fun and engaging game. As for now though, the game needs some improvement before I could recommend it to my own friends. Even though I had some fun in my playthrough, I'm not dying to get back in and keep exploring. In fact, the only reason I would get back in currently is to make new videos for the channel. And since most of you don't have YouTube channels to make content for, I can't recommend this game to you. Only the most hardcore fans of the survival crafting genre should really be considering picking up this game so early on in development. However, as a redeemer here, the game does look like it's heading in the right direction. A main storyline is supposed to be implemented, which could add incredible value to the game. Also, a new talent tree, which may just be what our slow leveling problem needs, and co-op as well. And I can assure you that all games are more fun with a friend. And if I could have been playing with my buddies, then maybe this review would be totally different. Because of this, I do think you would be absolutely crazy to not at least wishlist this game and check in on the development every now and again. It is my opinion that this game could be special one day. It's just too early in the process to tell. Well, that's all the time I have for today's video. I really wish I could have talked more about the game because there is a lot I had to leave out. I really hope you enjoyed the video and was able to take some useful information away. Please remember to like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video, or we'll be picking up Salt 2 Shores of Gold for yourself because we will be coming out with more guides for the game very soon that you won't want to miss. Thank you so much for watching again. Until next time, this is Simply Syrup signing off.